guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be treating how to cut and stitch this beautiful jumpsuit style here. If you pay attention to it, it is a thing you might have been seeing around, and some of you might think it is difficult or yada yada yada. No, trust me, it is quite simple. So if you are interested in learning how to cut this beautiful style here, you want to see this video from the very beginning till the end. Now, the first thing you want to do is to place your Ankara on fold like this. Since it is off shoulder, you put your off shoulder allowance of 4 to 5 inches. Then you are going to determine the length of your jumpsuit here, and you add your hemming allowance. Now, the next thing is to divide the width of the Ankara into two like this, and you are going to make the division all the way to the hem of the jumpsuit. Now, the width of this Ankara that is on fold is going to be the width of my jumpsuit leg. I mean, if you want yours to be smaller than this, you can reduce it. If you want it to be bigger, vice versa, just do you. There's no constant measurement for this. So in my own case, I just like the length of Ankara, I folded it into two, and I'll be using the whole thing as the width of my palazzo leg. Now the next thing to do is to put our back measurement. So if your back is 14 inches, that is going to be 7 divided by 2. You divide 7 by 2 and spread it into both sides of the line that we do, or both sides of our division. Now you are going to add your smoky allowance, 2 inches or 3 inches on both sides, depending on how big you want it to be. The next thing is to locate your chest line. Don't forget to deduct your off shoulder allowance. So after getting your chest line, you are going to go ahead and connect it like so. Now this part is set. The next thing we want to do now is to put our bust measurement. You know, you use the same method. You divide your bust into two, then your bust into quarter again. I mean, for you to be able to spread it in both sides of our line. Then you add your smoky allowance. Please make sure you are using the same allowance for your smoky. If it is 3 inches, it has to be 3 inches all the way. Then don't forget to add your same allowance. Next now is to locate your waistline. I believe you all know how to do that. And please do not forget, while taking all these measurements, do not forget to deduct your off shoulder allowance, you know, to get the right measurement. Now after doing this, after getting where your waistline is, you are going to go ahead and you divide your waist measurement into 4. Then you are going to spread that measurement. Whatever you get, you spread it. And note, it is going to be a straight line from your off shoulder point all the way to your flap, all the way to your crotch. But then, to not confuse you, let us continue this way. Put your waist measurement, add your smoky allowance, and add your seam allowance. So as you can see, like I said, it is still a straight line. But in order to save you the stress, you can just, rule a straight line from your off shoulder point all the way to your flap. Then you take your measurement from there. Now after connecting our bust line to our waistline, you go ahead and locate your hip line. And you can go down by 8 to 9 inches from your waistline. Then you are going to go ahead and connect the straight line that I mentioned earlier. You can see. So all the way from that straight line, you just want to put your... But before then, let us just take care of the armhole here. You just go in by 1 to 2 inches on your off shoulder point. Depends on how you want it to be. There's no constant to that one too. So go ahead and put your hip measurement, put your smoky allowance, and then you put your seam allowance too. You can see that I've connected the waist to the hip. So from that hip line on your side, you are going to connect it straight down to the hem of the palazzo. You can see what I just did. You know, using the A-line method, you can see that it is slanted straight into the hem of the jumpsuit. So after doing that now, the next thing we are going to do is to label, so you are not going to be confused. Then from the hip line, we are going to go straight down into our flap. From my waist to my crotch, I used 14 inches. It is a big palazzo jumpsuit. So you don't want your flap to be too tight. So from my waist to my flap, I used 14 inches. Please note, I said from my waist to my flap. Now you are going to put your crotch extension. So I used 3 inches for my crotch extension. You can use 2.5 if the person is around that size 8, size 8 and 10. And you can even use 3 inches for size 10. I mean, all because we don't want our flap to be tight. It is a big jumpsuit palazzo. So now after doing this, right from your crotch area like this, you are going to give it the same A shape that you did for the side. You can see from your crotch all the way to the end, you are going to slant your hand like so, and look at what we have. Please, your flap area, you don't want it to be too curved. Please take note of that. Now basically we are almost done. So yeah, you need to add seam allowance of ½ inch to your center front, just the way I'm doing here. You add ½ inch of joining. Now the next thing is we are going to go ahead and cut. So this is almost basically what we need for our patterning, because we are going to be placing the front on another fabric to cut the back. It's as simple as that. And note that we are not going to be putting any zipper. It is a smoked or shirred or whatever you call it. It is a smoked jumpsuit palazzo. So you can just wear it directly without the need of any, since the elastic is going to be from your neckline all the way to your waistline. We'll be putting elastic. So just go ahead and cut it out like this. Now straight into the armhole. Now that we have this, on the hem, you want to go up by 1 inch on both sides like this. Then you are going to curve it straight down into the actual hem. You can see, it is giving a shape. So you need to get rid of 1 inch on both sides. Like you can see what I just did, just to give it that curvy shape, like the actual flare. So to cut the back, like I said earlier, you place the front on the back, and you are going to extend the crotch by 1 inch. You can see where I did the extension on the lower part of the crotch. Then you are going to connect it all the way down, all the way down. You can see what I did into the hem, like so. Okay, I'm using this. You can see just the same way as I did for the front. You are going to put, the center front like so. You connect it into the new crotch measurement that we have. You understand it better when I start cutting. So that's me cutting the hem. Now we have the length that we need for the back as well. Note that the front and the back is going to be of the same length, since we are not doing high low. So if you pay attention, you can see that that is the crotch extension exactly. So all the way from that point, you're going to just cut it and slant your hand into the actual center front. Now we have our center back prepared too. The next thing now is to cut the side as well. And after cutting the side, guys, we are basically done with cutting. Now you keep cutting like so to the waist and all the way to the top like this. The armhole too is going to be the same thing. Now after getting this, we are going to take care of the upper part. You have to reduce the back by 2 inches around here from the front. The back and the front should not be of the same length at the top like this. Reduce 2 inches or 1 point. If you want your back to be lower, you can even reduce 3 inches. Then it has to be the same length So take care of it like that and you cut it. Sorry, it should not be the same length, like I said. Now notch 3 inches away from your waistline. That is where your pocket is going to be, should in case you are putting pocket. So I've gone ahead to cut my pocket. We all know how to do that. And then that is that for that. After cutting the pocket, guys, I've gone ahead to cut a long strip of 3 inches. So on fold it is going to be 1.5. So I made 4. You can see that it is 4. Now that we are here, we are going to sew. The first thing to do is to join the center front and the center back. Then after joining, we are going to go ahead and interlock it since we are not lining. We join it like this. So you are going to go ahead and join. You interlock it. Then the next thing is to fold the top, the off shoulder area. Make sure your stitches is going to be very tiny. You don't want it to be big and chalky. Give it a tiny stitch like this, less than ½ inch. Do the same thing for the back. Then you are going to proceed to join your pockets like so. Join the pockets all the places they are supposed to be like this. Now the next thing is you have to reel your smoking thread underneath your machine. Your actual thread is going to be at the top. I believe you should all know how to do that. So then you start your smoking or shirring or whatever you call it. In my case, I normally use ½ inch or a little less than ½ inch as my spacing. The space between my smoking. And sometimes if I want it to be a bit big, I used to do 0.75, but it should not be more than that, to give you a perfect result. So that is me doing the second line. So this smoky thing, I'm going to continue to do it from here all the way to my waistline, and I'll repeat the same thing for the back. This is the front though, so there's no magic there. So I'll do a few more lines. So I'm going to show you the magic. You can see the second line itself, it is already stretchy, and then the fabric is already shrinking. So you want to be careful while doing this, so you're not going to end up running your stitches wrongly. If your hand is not straight, please, you can as well use chalk to rule the lines. But because I can do mine, that's why I just sew it like that. Now, after doing the smoky, the next thing is to take care of our strap that is going to eventually become a shoulder strap. All the strip, join them like this. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 4. So join everything like this. And after joining them, you notch a bit. Then you are going to enclose on one side like this. After enclosing on one side, this is what we have. Then you are going to try and turn it inside out before you take it to your ironing table to give it a very good press. Turn it inside out like so. Okay, we all know how to do this, but let me just show it. Now we have this. So you repeat the same process for the remaining 3, and then after doing that, this is what we have. Take it to your ironing table and give it a good press. So guys, this is our beauty here. You can see how it is stretchy and beautiful. The next thing we are going to do is to enclose our armhole. If you have a bias, you can use your bias, or you can as well use your fabric. So in my case, I'm using my fabric. I want it to be uniform. So you sew on the wrong side like this. After folding your 1 inch strap or strip at the top, you place it on your armhole and you're going to sew. Then you're going to flip it over to the right side. I'm sewing on the wrong side like this. You flip it over to the right side, and you are going to top stitch. Just pay attention. You cut this off, then you notch. So whatever I'm showing here is what you repeat for the remaining armhole. I don't have to show how I did the remaining ones. It is still the same process. So turn it over to the right side and you're going to fold it in like this neatly and you will top stitch. So at this point, if you are still here, you are really patient and I hope this video has been helpful so far. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe to my channel and share this video to the people that will need them. Now we are done with one part, then you are going to repeat the same process for the remaining armhole. Cut it up like that, then repeat the same process for the remaining armhole like I mentioned. The next thing now is to join both our front and our back together. After you might have done your armhole closing, you join the front and back together using ½ inch as the seam allowance. Your seam allowance should not be above ½ inch. If it can be below, it will be good. So join it from your armhole all the way to your waist, to your pocket, and all the way down to the hem, like I am doing here. You want to be careful and then make sure both the front and back are aligning when you are sewing. So you are going to have a perfect result, okay? So at this point, let me mention that if you are new here, this is a channel you want to subscribe to. Trust me, every week I post helpful content for fashion designers, for beginners. In fact, if you want to learn how to sew from scratch, you can subscribe to my channel and let us develop together. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always sticking around. I appreciate you. So guys, after stitching the side, we are going to go straight down to the hem like this, and we are going to fold it from the front area or from the back area all the way to the front, anyhow. So after doing the folding, you want to place your front and your back together, and you go ahead and sew. And say place them together like this, and you are going to run the ½ inch stitches all the way from your hem to your flap, and from the flap all the way down. And guys, we are basically done. And let me just show you a little process of the stitches. I want this tutorial to be very detailed, so much that at the end of the video you'll be bold enough to get your own fabric and sew this beautiful style. Don't let anybody deceive you. Nothing is difficult to make. Now you sew it all the way to your crotch like this, then from your crotch you're going to sew it all the way down. If you pay attention, you see that my stitches are tiny, they are not big. Now that we have done the joining, you take one of your strap, fold it by 1 inch inside like this. Then you are going to place it where it is supposed to be like this, and you top stitch. You basically have to top stitch. There's nothing you can do than to top stitch. So repeat the same process for the remaining parts. Then after doing that, we are basically done with making this beautiful piece. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please comment in my comment section and give me a thumbs up. So after joining all the strap, this is what we have. Guys, I believe I've been able to convince and not confuse you that this style is beautiful and easy to make. Thank you so much for sticking around from the beginning till the end. And guys, this is the result after sewing. I even tried it on another fabric. Till later. Bye guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to see you in my next class. Do not forget to practice what you have learned. Let me know if this video was helpful. Bye.